This is another aircraft instrument. So this is the tachometer for the high pressure turbine. The scale is graduated in percentage from 0 to 100% and a little bit more. So this is the front plate of this instrument. It was manufactured by Smith Industries. It was serviced in 1988. And on the rear of the instrument, you have, as usual, a circular connector. So let's open this thing to see what is inside. It is a construction which is similar to the previous instrument, which was engine temperature. It was more or less the same shield here, and the same, more or less the same type of construction. So here we have a DC motor, and we have a potentiometer for the feedback control. And we have a spring also here. So the motor should apply a torque in order to keep the needle in position. We have a small transformer here. So let's see the electronic boards. So we have 3 electronic boards inside. So let's take a look on the first one. So you have 3 adjustments here. And we have several op-amps. One transistor here. 2N2907. So this guy is LM107. We have a classic LM741 here also. And this is a relay. This is obviously a transistor. This is a simple circuit. The second one. So we have a CD4047. I think we have already seen this part in the previous instrument. We generate a pulse. We have a capacitor here. I think I remember that there was a capacitor in pin 1 and a resistor in pin 2, which is this one here. So it is maybe a monostable in order to generate a pulse with a given width. This permits to convert the input frequency into DC voltage. So this is maybe done by this part here. And then we have also some op-amp. Here we have a LM107. Here we have, I cannot read, LM111. So maybe a comparator. And this one is a LM107 also. Here we have a relay. And here we have another LM741, classic op-amp, single op-amp, and 2 adjustments here. And the last board, so this seems to be a power supply, obviously. So you have the main transformer probably with small filter capacitors here. So this is not a complicated instrument. I think it will be easy to do the reverse engineering. So I think I will need a few hours to do this. So probably we have the power supply board here. So this seems to be the servo loop, and this is the front end of this instrument in order to convert the input frequency into a DC signal. I have a block schematic of N2 tachymeter in this book here, Aircraft Instruments. So we have one example. I don't know if the electronic circuits follows this block schematic or not, but I guess it will be more or less the same thing, and you have an input here, so which frequency depends on the speed of the engine. And then you have a shaping circuit in order to have a square wave here. And then you have a monostable, so it is probably this IC here you have seen, the CD4047. Oops. And then we have an integrator, which is actually a low-pass filter in order to convert this signal, which is rectangular signal. And the mean value of this signal is proportional to the input frequency. And then you have the servo loop circuit here, which permits to drive the needle according to the input voltage here, which so if you want to read this book, you can make a pause. And this is an example of this tachometer, which is described in this book. So I will start the reverse engineering, and after we will try to make working this instrument. We start with this board. So probably this transistor with the dissipator is used to drive the motor. You can see that there is a conformal coating on two boards. Actually, this one, the servo control board, the power supply board, but there is no conformal coating on this on the analog board here. So thank you, because it is easier for reverse engineering. You can use the continuity tester. So I will start the reverse engineering with this board, which is the servo control loop. So I have printed a set of stickers for op-amp. It will help for this reverse engineering and the following. So we start to place the op-amp with a corresponding position. So they are all identical. There are three LM741 and one LM107, but they have the same pinout. So this one, for example, will be in this position. So the first board is finished. So we start now the reverse engineering of the second board, which is this one. So I printed some stickers, it will help. So I have one page of relay, which is a standard relay we find in more or less in all instruments, so it will be useful. I have also printed stickers of CD4047. It is the second time I found this part, so maybe it will be used also in other instruments. I have also this LM723. I found this part also in other instrument. It was also used for the voltage reference here. So this is a regulator which can be used either in linear regulator or switch mode power supply, but it can be used also only for its voltage reference here. And I think it is the case in this instrument. I have also one page of stickers of LM111, so this is a comparator. The pinout is different than standard op-amp, and the standard op-amp LM741 and other equivalent parts. So I will start with the connector here. This is the complete schematic of this N2 indicator. So we have 3 boards inside. The first board on the top of this page is the input board. So the purpose of this board is to convert the input frequency signal, which is fed to this transformer, into a DC voltage. The DC voltage is present at the output of this amplifier. The input signal is translated into a square wave, which is present at the output of this comparator. And this square wave is fed into this monostable, and at the output of this monostable we have a rectangular signal. This signal is filtered with this C-network, so you can see that the time constant is large, and at the output of this amplifier we have a DC signal which is proportional to the input frequency. So this signal is amplified and fed into the servo control loop, which is on the second board here. On this board you have also a voltage reference here. The voltage reference of this 723 is 7 volt. So you have this resistive divider which permits to have a 5 volt voltage here. So this 5 volt is buffered with this op-amp, is used as a voltage follower, and the 5 volt supply here is fed into the servo control loop board also, which is here. So I will make a zoom on the servo control loop board. So this is the schematics of the servo control loop. So the input signal is here. So this is a DC signal. This DC signal is added to a voltage which comes from the feedback potentiometer here, which is linked mechanically to the motor and the needle. So you have here a differential amplifier. So at the output of this differential amplifier, you have the DC voltage which comes from the potentiometer and the small DC voltage here, which permits to adjust the zero, because you can see that you have a large divider here with 33K and 1K. So here you can adjust a few millivolts, and this permits to have the zero here. And this voltage is added to the measurement of voltage, which is negative, by the way, because this amplifier is an inverted amplifier. So here you have a positive voltage, and here a negative voltage. So these two voltages are summed thanks to these two resistors and are fed to the error amplifier which drives the motor. So there is something which is not common. The transistor is driven not by the output but by the supply current of this op-amp. You have also a resistor here which permits to sense the current flowing into the motor, and you have this feedback here. This permits to have a better control of the speed of the motor. And you have also a relay here. So this relay is activated when the voltage which is present at the output of the differential amplifier is below a given threshold, which is defined by this trimmer here. When the voltage is below this threshold, the output here goes to low level, and this turns on this transistor which activates the relay. So you have also this amplifier which permits to have a voltage at the rear connector of the instrument. This voltage is proportional to the position of the feedback potentiometer. And the last board is the power supply board, which is very simple. The primary voltage is filtered with these two capacitors here, which are connected to the mechanical ground. And the electric ground is also connected to the mechanical ground. You have two voltages, I call them plus V and minus V, which are probably 10 or 12 volt or something like that, maybe 15 volt, we will see. I didn't make any measurement on this instrument. And you have also another voltage here, which I called plus VA, and this voltage permits to supply the 723 in order to give the voltage reference. So now we can do some tests on this instrument to see if it works. Okay, so I have connected this instrument to an AC power supply, 115 volt AC at 400 Hz. I have connected also to the input of this instrument a function generator. So the input is here, the primary side of this small transformer. I have also connected the oscilloscope in order to see two signals. So the first signal is the output of this monostable. So here we should have rectangular signal, and the duty cycle should be dependent on the input frequency. And the second signal is a DC voltage, which is present at this point. So this voltage is negative normally, and should be proportional to the input frequency. So let's turn on this thing to see if it works. So we'll apply the power supply. Okay, so we have something. The input frequency is 500 Hz currently. So we have a pulse width of 150 microseconds, something like that, a little bit more. Okay, so when the frequency increases, the duty cycle should be reduced. Okay, and we can see that the DC voltage increases, and in negative side, of course. And the maximum speed is reached for an input frequency of 2.6 kHz. So this can be adjusted normally using the gain sensitivity here with this potentiometer. We can adjust, and it should be possible to adjust the maximum speed according to a given input frequency. And I don't know if you can hear, but we can hear the two relays. So the first one is activating at this level, and the second one here. And it should be proportional. For example, for 20, I need an input frequency of 480 Hz. And for 40, 960 Hz. So it is exactly a factor of 2. it is also possible to do a sweep. I have configured my function generator in a frequency modulation mode with a center frequency of 1.2 kHz and a deviation of 1.2 kHz, so the frequency will change between 0 and 2.4 kHz. So let's see the result of this frequency modulation. I will activate the modulation now. Okay. And you can check if the measurement voltage is linear. So I will reduce the time base. So you can see that we have a linear function between the input frequency and the voltage measured, which correspond to the position of the needle. So thank you for watching. This was the test of this N2 indicator, so the speed of the high pressure engine. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.